Adya, congratulations on your NEET score.
Thank you so much, sir. Wouldn't be possible without your help. Definitely.
Okay. Thank you so much for saying it. Acha. So let us now discuss about our strategy, generally the strategy that we followed. Let's start with early completion of syllabus. So like, according to you, what role did early completion of syllabus play in doing well in general?
See, firstly, when we started with early completion of syllabus, I was a bit hesitant because I thought it was going a bit fast. Then I got used to it, and once the syllabus was completed, I was very satisfied because I realized that there was a lot of time left for revision. I mean, I could revise at least more than 5-6 times.
Yes, exactly.
Which was not possible for other students from the regular classes because they complete the syllabus only like 3-4 months before NEET. We can't expect for revision to be done then.
Exactly.
So, early completion is definitely very useful.
Very, very well said. So this is very important to be emphasized because it is a very anti-natural strategy. Na? This is not the natural strategy that people use generally, and it can't be used also in coaching institutes or places wherein one teacher is there and many students are there, because
you go by the pace of the slowest student.
Yes, exactly. And here what we can do is like we can focus upon what the student has not understood in personalized learning compared to their own understanding level. Essentially, like we just cater to that particular student rather than worrying about the entire 40 students, 50 students, or however many they are, generally speaking.
In classes, how much ever teachers say that they'll solve the doubt of each and every student, they aren't able to. They can't solve all your doubts.
It's simply not possible. In our experience also, it has so happened that the teaching time was much less, if you see, compared to the doubt solving time.
Yeah, exactly.
And ideally speaking, that is how it should be also. That is the ideal preparation methodology. Like if the teaching time is going to be more inside the classroom, that means something wrong is happening basically. More time has to be given for doubt clarification and doubt solving. Okay. Also, I would like you to comment upon the fact that since we are learning things for the first time, obviously initially we will find it tough, challenging, etc. And that happens because human neurons are getting used to a new subject completely. We have to think about it, process the information deeply, think deeply about it, then come up with doubts, get the doubts clarified. And then when all this process is over for the entire syllabus, the funny part is we are going to forget the syllabus.
Definitely.
And different students are going to forget different concepts. Like one student may forget concept A from chapter number 3, let's say, and some other student may forget concept B from chapter number 7, for instance. So whatever we have forgotten, that needs revision, and that cannot be uniform for a set of 40 students, basically. So personalized learning is very important, as we have together remarked many times. And whatever we have forgotten, multiple cycles of revision of that particular idea is very, very helpful generally for any competitive entrance exam or any exam, or even I would say any part of learning in general, wherein we are supposed to develop a skill set. Obviously we will revise whatever we have forgotten, right? So that whatever has been leaked out of the memory or leaked out of the brain, we will be able to revisit that. Your comments about this phenomena?
So firstly, in classes, the time taken to complete the syllabus is a lot. So even if you forget the first initial lessons, you won't get enough time to revise them thoroughly again.
Right.
You'll revise them once maybe, but then you'll forget them again. That's in our system, you get plenty of time to revise because syllabus is completed early, and so you don't forget as much as you would forget in regular classes.
Correct. Absolutely. Very well said. Okay. So now let's focus upon, after completing the syllabus, what we did is we solved a lot of FSTs. Like around 200, 250 FSTs. Okay. So I would like you to focus upon the difference between a part syllabus test and a full syllabus test, or a chapter wise test and a full syllabus test, and how we focus upon FSTs and did the mistakes analysis that we generally do, which is like conceptual mistakes, execution practice based mistakes, and silly mistakes. And after doing the mistakes analysis, how the testing module helped you gain confidence and gain number of marks as well, basically.
What you need to realize here is that NEET is going to be a full syllabus test. And part syllabus ke liye studying is very easy because you might spend the entire week studying for just one lesson. But that you're not going to do that for NEET, and you need to be aware for that. The shift from part syllabus to full syllabus will definitely be difficult, but you'll get used to it with time. And again, part syllabus it might happen that you get lesser marks than full syllabus because part syllabus
no, you said ulta, I think. Full syllabus initially. In full syllabus, initially you will necessarily usually get lesser marks than what you are getting in part
definitely syllabus. Because you have to cover a lot of portion and you're not used to that because of your part syllabus thing. And
Correct.
I'll be honest, past syllabus thing is really not useful. Matlab, even before we completed the entire question,
Right.
we had started solving full syllabus tests so that we
Right.
get used to the variety of questions and the system of
Absolutely.
NEET.
Absolutely. And unless we start giving full syllabus tests, how are we going to know what we are forgetting?
Exactly.
And what we are forgetting keeps changing. After 2-3 months, we may forget something else. The recipe for extreme amount of success in any competitive entrance exam is to forget as less as possible. And how are we to do that? After multiple cycles of revision.
Yeah.
So when we are able to do that, that is when marks really shoot up in the entrance exam in general. Very good. Okay.
And past syllabus test basically is like you're revising one chapter for the entire week. So obviously you'll get better marks. It's not to help you in NEET.
Right. It is just a feel-good factor, which is a very short-term feel-good factor.
Confidence.
Yeah, exactly. Like we eat ice cream and feel good, but actually eating too much ice cream is very unhealthy. So it's that kind of a thing, basically.
Yeah.
We have to always play the long game and think about the long run, basically. And we have to just have confidence and faith in the process and give our 100%. All right. Now, many students face this difficulty of comparing with others, their success, rank, result, marks, understanding, etc. So we also have the philosophy of not comparing with others, but comparing with our own best potential. So your comments about the same?
So firstly, the time taken by each and every student to understand a particular subject or topic is very different.
Yes.
You can't compare कि अरे उसने आज 12 घंटा पढ़ा है, I studied just for 6 hours. Maybe your 6 hours are equal to his 12 hours.
Or maybe more also.
Doesn't. Right. And again, marks, maybe you will reach the marks he's getting now, he or she is getting now in a later time. You just have to keep comparing with yourself. Last time I got 120 in physics. Okay, this time I'll try to get 130. Then I'll try to reach 140. So you have to have a competition with yourself and not with anybody else.
Correct. Because that is what we can do, right? Basically. Yeah. We cannot do anything else apart from compete with oneself because there are so many students. So let's say from day one, if every student's marks all across India or all across the globe are compared, then we will always be stressed out. Oh, I did so much effort, but still I could not get as much marks as that ABC XYZ student.
There's always going to be someone who's better than you. So you
at that point in time. Yeah,
exactly. At that point of time.
All we have to do is compete with our best possible self. And that is the recipe to deliver the best possible outcomes for our own self, basically. So this is a very maturity filled element that we have understood. Okay. So now many students in today's day and age are distracted by Netflix, multimedia, they are addicted to eating a lot of things, playing video games, social media, etc. So we have discussed this also in depth and detail. I am talking about this because this is a point that affects performance not only of students but of anybody in general, basically. So this is what we call as hyper stimuli or supernormal stimuli, which are not present in the state of nature. So this is abundantly available in today's day and age. And how is it correlated with results and general feeling of confidence, etc.? Your comments about the same?
I'll be honest, I hadn't completely cut down on all these platforms because I don't think I'll be able to, because you need a little bit of distraction, a little bit of break from your studies.
Correct.
But if it goes to an excess now, then you have to cut down, because if you're not able to focus and not able to manage and balance your Netflix and studies, then you have to cut it down totally. A balance is important here. So if you can, it'll be best if you study for 6 hours, you deserve half an hour Netflix maybe in that.
Right. So we generally, as a rule of thumb, say that it shouldn't anywhere be more than 5% of your net study time, basically.
Yeah.
So around 5% of your net study time seems feasible and suitable, basically. If it can be down to 0, then nothing like it. That's the best. That's the best possible outcome. That is the outcome that we are chasing, actually speaking. Yeah, right. So in this journey of scoring well in the NEET entrance exam, many a times what happens is some amount of disappointment is there, some amount of anguish or challenge is there because you did not understand a certain particular concept or topic well. Maybe you think that somebody else understood it better, or sometimes in some tests we score less number of marks, basically. So for this, we just give the advice that focus on the process and most importantly, love the process. So love the process of learning science. This is science that we are learning. It is firstly in itself a very beautiful thing because this knowledge is going to be there with us for the entire lifetime. We are going to develop tenacity, hardworking skills, the skills of pursuing a goal and sacrificing in the short term for accomplishing greater things in the long term. So these are all life skills in general. So what do you think about when failure or obstacles or hurdles come in day-to-day NEET preparation, wherein we are not understanding one particular topic or chapter or concept? We advise just focus on the process and focus on moving inch by inch closer to your goal. Don't think of the long run. Just think today in 6 hours, 10 hours, 11 hours, etc. How much maximum output related to brain development and confidence development and development of understanding of the topics can I accomplish in today's particular day. Let's not think 1 week, 10 days, 100 days down the line. Let's focus on today and do our best possible effort today and forget about other things, because whatever we do in today's time is the best that we can do, and we anyway cannot control tomorrow, yesterday, etc.
Exactly.
This is, by the way, a global challenge. Mental health crisis keeps happening. Basically, most of it is related to thinking about the past and regretting the past, and planning about the future and worrying about the future and comparing with other human beings, basically. So your comments regarding the same, when obstacles happen or small,
who doesn't have bad days? Even the smartest people end up having bad days. What matters is, now suppose I get 120 in a test, what matters is not focusing on, yes, I scored marks in these questions. You should focus on, okay, these are the marks that I lost. How can I improve these marks? Like, an important analysis of all the questions you went wrong in is very important. Like,
or left, went wrong or left, basically.
Went wrong in or left. So whether this was a silly mistake or formula-based mistake, you need to realize that and focus on improving on that.
Very good, very well said. So that kind of concludes what I had to talk. Any other ideas or suggestions for future batches and in general for students who prepare for competitive entrance exams?
For physics, one thing I still regret that I didn't do was read not for all lessons, but Sagar sir suggested a few lessons like semiconductors, the theoreticals ones, for which you should read NCERT thoroughly at least once.
Right.
But I didn't really do that, so I regret it. So I would suggest you all to read NCERT of physics at least once, go through the graphs and charts that are in NCERT, and rest you have to solve as many as numericals you can. Physics mein theory is not that important. Numericals you have to try as many as you can. Matlab, wherever you get, just keep solving numericals.
Correct.
No need to try multiple books, because there's basically just one set of numericals which goes about in each and every book. Solving one book multiple times is also enough, rather than solving 5-6 numericals.
Yeah, in fact, solving one book multiple times gets you an understanding. Okay, these are the type of questions that I am missing or not understanding.
Exactly.
So exactly what you are missing, that revision happens basically. And tracking your doubts also helps, like tracking that, okay, in this chapter, these are the type of questions that I am not being able to do. Tracking the doubts also helps in general. Okay, so and the general tips for biology and inorganic chemistry is that do NCERT thoroughly, basically. Like anything else that you are doing apart from NCERT doesn't give you high return on investment of your time, basically. Because
feel like
hardly any question is going to come apart from NCERT.
You'll feel you're becoming more knowledgeable by reading outside of NCERT, but it's not going to help you in NEET at all.
Exactly.
It's just going to go negative.
And NEET is a challenge against time, or we are racing with time, basically. All right.
Yeah.
So because of that, it doesn't make sense to read out of NCERT at that point in time. If we are interested in knowledge about biology and inorganic chemistry in general, then later, after the NEET exam is over, then we can read that particular knowledge if we are interested in acquiring more and more knowledge. But since this is factual, basically, I don't think that even outside of the NEET entrance exam, just remembering facts is going to help, basically.
Definitely.
Developing understanding is very, very important. Okay. Any tips for physical and organic chemistry?
Physical chemistry again is like physics. You have to keep solving numericals. Go through the graphs and charts in NCERT.
Yes.
And organic chemistry is basically all about understanding. So read NCERT and classes might give you notes. So for organic, it will be helpful to refer the notes, because it's a lot of logic based on
correct. So basically, the logic and analysis behind reaction mechanisms and how things work, that is very, very important in organic. And the named reactions have to be done properly.
Yeah.
All right. Adya, congratulations once again.
Thank you,
sir. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights with us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.